Winnebago's in Colorado. I mean, I wish I would have played here in the 80s. Insane. So, we're going to talk about Jake Zim. Jake's great.
Hollywood! Hollywood!
Zim Mortal, Z-Dog, Hollywood, Jay-Z. Jake was a history major at Cal. He can't speak to his grades. Pretty sure they were good, but his real major was lacrosse. I met Jake freshman year, the day before the first practice. He was a super nice guy, really polite. I introduced myself and he politely said back to me, "I know who you are. You're Alex Mast. Cape grad, attackman, fast, you got a strong right. You got an okay left, and you like the inside roll." At first, I thought maybe a stalker. But when we showed up the next day for our first practice, I realized there was something else going on with Jake. Jake started running slow breaks through X, and he was textbook. He was juking defenders, attacking and fading and feeding middies with like this mesmerizing, super accurate pass right through the crease. He played with this deceptive sort of cradle and fake. You know, it was something I hadn't really seen before. It was this East Coast style that I wasn't as familiar with here on the West. And when I say style with Jake, I'm not talking about the black Super Light 2 strung with a traditional leather and a wooden crooked arrow shaft. With Jake, I'm talking a white-on-white Excalibur with what seemed to be a dozen flashy, bright white hockey shoelace shooters that each one was cut and frayed to perfection and was paired with a titanium shaft which had just been invented. This guy was legit. So how did this Cali boy get so good? So what I learned over the years with Zim was that he was the consummate student of the game. And when I say student, I really mean it. Let's go back to the 90s, early 90s. There was no internet, no streaming. ESPN wouldn't even play lacrosse on the TV. And if you caught it, it was like a complete fluke. In fact, they were probably making fun of it. But Jake somehow amassed a collection of Division I tapes that would rival the best Grateful Dead bootleggers. To put into perspective, Jake had 2 full footlockers in his dorm room with lacrosse magazines and VCR tapes of every playoff and championship game, and he would study them relentlessly. Jake went to Berkeley High School, which was a big area powerhouse at that time. In warm-ups, he would remind us of the Berkeley greats that came before us. Audie, Caleb, Cooper, Bell, Maurice, all of which are here tonight. Jake would also be our window into East Coast lacrosse during warm-ups. With his deep knowledge, he would educate us on the different matchups, the stats of every player, who would end up with the ball, and of course the play-by-play of the 1994 Virginia game against Syracuse when Michael Watson scored the game winner as a freshman. He said he told this story like every practice. The dude knew everything about lacrosse, and it permeated throughout our team. And it turns out, as a history major, it was a pretty good fit, because through his study, he had a vision of what California lacrosse could become. So, during his time at Cal, and after, Zim's accomplishments and contributions were immense. He was a 3-time first-team All-Star, a 2-time WCLL Champion, MCLA National Champion, assist leader, first-team All-American, Cal Lacrosse president, and a founding member of our Alumni Association. It gets better. After graduating Cal, Jake moved to Los Angeles where he continued his passion for lacrosse, coaching middle school, high school, and even at the collegiate level. In fact, in 2000, he was recognized as the Coach of the Year while coaching the UCLA women's lacrosse team. Knowing Jake in college, none of us were surprised to find him coaching the finest female lacrosse players. Now, on a serious note, I will end with Jake Sim, the friend. Everyone in this room that has come out to support tonight can attest, Jake has it all. He fills your cup with humor and positive energy. He's observant, he's thoughtful, articulate, and cares deeply for his friends and family. He's the type of guy that can help you tackle your biggest challenge, and he'll bring a commitment and passion that will rival your own. He is joined tonight by his family, his lovely wife, Katerina, and twin 12-year-old boys, Massimo and Lorenzo. I want to get your attention here. We might need to consider these kids for some early admits. So please give a round of applause to congratulate Jay-Z Hollywood for his great honor and welcome him to the podium.
It's overwhelming. This honor is it's really overwhelming for me. I've been thinking about this for a while since I got the call about this event, and I've actually tried to spend some time to understand what this really means. What it means to be in the Cal Lacrosse Hall of Fame with such amazing company, and Coach Wayne said a lot about it. I want to give my version of that with a few words here. I want to make sure I thank everybody who's here, first of all, who put this event together, the Hall of Fame committee, all of our friends who traveled from so far, and my family, who Alex mentioned here. I want to call out a couple more folks here. My mom is here. Tell some stories tonight, okay? My stepfather is here. He's the historian, and I want to talk a little bit about history tonight. I won't spend too long, but I do have some stuff I want to say. My father is here tonight. He's a psychiatrist, a master of prescribing substances that can alter the mind. That's part of the Cal Lacrosse story. So you guys know that. My stepmother is not here tonight. She passed in September, but she was someone who meant so much to me. She taught me how to keep memories and share those memories, and I do want to share some of those memories tonight. My in-laws are here from Italy, Tony and Geraldine, and my sister-in-law, Stefania, so I want to make sure that I thank them for being here. And of course, my beautiful boys for to talk tonight. I might overrule them a little bit on that. This is a real homecoming for me. I grew up in Berkeley. I went to Berkeley High School. I went to Cal, obviously. I live in Los Angeles, but coming home to this beautiful place, Wayne mentioned it, but it truly is something special. And I want to get to why that is extremely unique for this community in a moment. I first started playing lacrosse, really learning about lacrosse, the summer between 7th and 8th grade. I was at Boy Scout camp, and a guy named Dave Pactor, who went to Berkeley High, he was 4 years older than me. Around the campfire, he told these amazing stories of the Berkeley High lacrosse team. This band of wild athletes, these crazy lacrosse players, many of whom are back in that table right there. And he told this story about this Northern California championship game against Bishop O'Dowd. 1989, and Berkeley High beat Bishop O'Dowd in overtime. There was a guy on that team named Ryan Taylor. Many of you know Ryan. You know the story of Ryan. And Ryan scored 8 goals in that game, including the overtime victory. He literally caught the ball, stole it on a ride, and dove and scored the game winner to send Berkeley High to the championship. And I've watched that tape. I have that tape. It's on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to watch it. This story, this myth, this legend of the Berkeley High lacrosse team, and especially Ryan Taylor, changed my world. I was a kid who was shuttling between parents' houses in middle school. I was slightly above average athletic ability.
How about the shoulder? How many times have we put your shoulder back in?
Is this an interactive conversation? All right, let's make it interactive. I needed something to grasp onto when I was young, like many people did, and lacrosse was something I could really sink my teeth into. And the vision of what Berkeley High offered and Ryan Taylor as an inspiration was something that I could see as a path that I wanted. So I went to Berkeley High, and I played hard, and I did my best, and we were as good as we could be. We battled all of the teams that many of you are familiar with and went to schools with, and we did great. But my senior year, and I was trying to think of a really positive version of the story, one positive version of it, but I'm hoping to take 2 negatives. It's a dad joke here. But my senior year, Ryan Taylor took his own life, as many of us know. And from that moment on, I realized I had to figure it out myself. Ryan had gone back east. He had followed a path that I wanted to follow. And I had planned to go back east and play at Duke. I didn't get into Duke. But luckily, I got into my safety school. I got into Cal. So when I started at Cal, I realized I had to find my own path. I had to figure it out for myself. And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that I was surrounded by an amazing group of veterans who were at Cal. Guys like Kevin Flynn and Kevin Duffy and Terry Flynn, and Mario Nea, and Andy Barnes, our goalie. Amazing seniors who were there. Spencer Young, Mike Ridley. And we had an amazing recruiting class. We had an incredible freshman class. Guys like Alex Mast, who I played against in high school. He didn't know me, I knew him. Justin Stevens, Ned Topham, J.P. Harbor. Amazing players. And so we were really good freshman year. We were really good. We beat everybody. We beat Whittier at home. We stopped them. And then we went back east, and we beat Holy Cross. As a bunch of West Coast kids going back east and beating those East Coast kids, that was a huge achievement. And then the next day, we played the day after St. Patrick's Day. We'd been out all night drinking at the Goodwill Hunting Bar, and found ourselves on the field, and we got beat by Boston College. But that was okay. That was okay. We came back and we played in the WCLL Championship. And I want to show you just this picture here that's up there. It actually comes from the Daily Cal. I have a little excerpt here from May 2nd, 1995. That's the picture of me there. And the headline here, which I think is hilarious, Lax waxes a pair in defense of title. Right? Daily Cal. Bears down Chapman and UCSB. So we won the championship, but the path to get there was pretty wild. And there's a moment I want to talk about. So I'm just going to read this for a second. Who says Cal Sports men's teams can't win championships? Many of major sports teams have fumbled through well-publicized, disappointing seasons. The men's lacrosse team, Cal's best-kept secret, has taken the national club title, not exactly the national club title back then, for the 2nd consecutive year. The Bears won the Western Collegiate Lacrosse League Championship with a thrilling overtime victory over Chapman in the semifinal and a domination of UC Santa Barbara in Sunday's final. What happened in that Chapman game, I think, is really important to talk about. We were losing badly in that game, in that semifinal game. And we had clawed our way back. With about 30 seconds to go, Coach Bajesi calls a timeout. We're down 10-9. Now, I'll just give you the spoiler. Obviously, we end up beating Chapman in overtime because a guy named Pete Flannery, who I don't think is here tonight, scored an amazing goal. But to tie that game up with 30 seconds left, Coach called the timeout. And Pete, I don't know if you remember this, but I certainly do. Coach calls a timeout, and he, you know, as a group of freshmen, we were all freaked out. What's going to happen here? How are we going to get past this? Coach calls a timeout. He probably gave some amazing Braveheart-esque speech to fire us up, get everybody excited. And he may have, but the reality was that none of us were really listening. I wasn't. The conversation we were having was, are we going to eat our shrooms tonight? Or are we going to wait the next day? Which was not the kind of conversation. As it turns out, somehow, at the timeout, I got the ball and drove the crease. Justin Stevens was wide open on the crease. I gave the ball, he ties it up. We end up winning the game in overtime. We beat Santa Barbara in the championship, and we have our shrooms after the championship game, as you should. And it was an amazing series. Amazing series, amazing experience. And so for a couple years, we were riding that high. I think for myself, I definitely enjoyed that whole experience all the way through to senior year. So I do want to give a little story about senior year. Now, you may have heard about the championship game, the national championship game where we won 16-15 in overtime over BYU, right? That was an amazing game in St. Louis, but it turns out that was the second best 16-15 overtime victory in a championship game that year. Because a few weeks earlier, we had beat Whittier, our arch rivals, up in Stockton in the WCLL Championship. And that WCLL Championship game was the most meaningful for me, and I think for a lot of guys, because it really was the rivalry. The BYU guys, they were nice guys, right? It was great to win the national championship, but they were nice guys. They were grown men, frankly. At the time, you know, they were drinking milk, and their wives and kids were running around on the side. But they were very polite. But the Whittier guys, they were Neanderthals. They were East Coast, just rough kids, and we always wanted to beat them, and it was a real rivalry. And that game was an overtime victory, and I want to do a little play-by-play of how that overtime win actually went down. So it was 15-15. It was an extremely close game, back and forth, leads changing. 15-15. Coach Joe Proud calls a timeout, okay? And he says, all right guys, we're going to run the shoot the moon play. This was the play that we had in our back pocket when we needed a goal. When we needed a goal, we put our man-up team out there, essentially on a face-off, run Tyler Kreitz with a long pole on the face-off, and we were going to get the ball no matter what. So we had JP, we had myself, we had Justin Stevens on attack, we had Alex Mast on the wing, we had Kevin, Chris, one of you guys. We're going to move on the wing and get Tyler taking the long stick.
They were interchangeable. We don't know which one is which.
They're both fantastic. They're both going to be in this Sunday. And we got our long sticks hanging back and our amazing goalie, Robbie Warner, in the cage. Tyler wins the face-off. He pops it out to Alex on the wing. Alex goes down, scoops it up. He gets an ice pick check in the head from a Whittier guy, drops the ball, picks it back up, no call. No! Where's my refs? The play, Shoot the Moon, is essentially a mixing of high crease picks for the moons. Everybody's coming off it. It all starts and initiates with Alex. Because Alex is the man. Everybody on the other team knows that Alex is going to go to the goal. So he's sort of the decoy. He's got to initiate the play from up top. The idea is get Alex the ball, let everybody set up on the play. But Alex has something else in mind. He's got that tagged an Alex Mast, look on his face. He's going to the goal. He's frothing at the mouth. He drives down with his right, switches to his left, takes a shot. Right? Everyone's like, oh, jeez. All right, but you got to let Alex shoot. Ball squirts out. I pick it up behind. Pull it over. Okay, let's set it up, throw it back up to Alex. Alex immediately shoots it again. Everybody's yelling, shoot the moon, shoot the moon. This time it goes over the cage. Justin Stephen backs it up. Justin takes it up to the right side. He's pulling it up and throws it to Kevin Moon. I'm going to go there. It's like a little blooper pass. Kev drops it, picks it back up. Finally gets it around, back down to me. Finally I said, Alex, okay, on the field. Let's go, shoot the moon. Give it up to Alex. He drives right, his defender sloshes off him. Moon circle, Netty T, Ned Topham pops up Alex feeds him the ball. And Ned scores it, we win, we go next. And everything in St. Louis was just a walk in the park. The indignity of all indignitables, however, was when we got on the bus and headed back down to Berkeley from Stockton. We were having a great time, doing keg stands in the back, probably doing keg stands on the top of the bus. We stop at In-N-Out, right? And lo and behold, in front of us, the entire Whittier team is in line at In-N-Out. As soon as our bus door opens and we all pile out, the Whittier guys look up at us and they basically just step out of the way. And I'm going to close this with something a little crazy here, maybe, okay? I'm going to read a poem that my mom wrote. And the reason I'm going to read this poem is because I actually think it tells the answer, helps answer what this means to me. This is a poem, and Mom, I'm sorry I didn't tell you ahead of time I was going to do this, but it's a poem that my mom wrote in 2005, and it's called Lock and Key. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. But it's about when my mom went to visit her mom's house in Vermont after many years, and it had been empty. And the fact that she could get into the house and observe what had happened with nothing changing the house is sort of the idea. So let me read a few lines from this, if you guys can indulge me. Travel 1,000 miles or more. Take out a key, open the door. A lamp on the table, a cloth on the table. The rooms are chilly, but it's all there. See what is possible in the absence of war. My key turns in the lock because we agreed that this key should turn the lock. The agreement, not the key, opens the door. Not the key, but the agreement. We who place the lock agree with you that this is the key. So to me, this homecoming, this room, this house, this shelter from a storm outside, these coaches, these refs, these players, these guys who built this agreement that we have that is Cal Lacrosse, that is the key. That's what this means to me. And I just want to thank you all for allowing me to have this key. And let's share this key and keep this agreement. Thank you.
Jason!
Let's give it up one more time for all of our inductees tonight. Great job, guys. Thank you. Thank you for all your contributions to Colorado. Okay. That was our last inductee. There's no more raise the paddle. So we did a quick tally in the back. And it's time to pat ourselves on the back because we raised
upwards of $48,000.